Here's something that's rare. Let me be the voice of reason.
This is
Relax.
the open.
Relax. It's okay. It's the preseason. Don't panic.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel presented by Connors and Ferris. Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell, Mike Catalana with a Veterans Day off. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We always appreciate it. Whoa, that was gross.
As the kids say, not great, Bob.
The Bills lost here to the Bears in preseason game number 1 of the summer, 33-6. Not a touchdown.
Nope.
Was scored by the Bills offense today.
I moved yesterday. And if you're following along on social media, it wasn't pleasant. I think people that have moved before can attest to that. 2 kids, full house, going into a bigger house. We have so much stuff. This felt like an 8-hour move. That was how much fun this preseason. This was such a preseason game. It's hard to believe.
It really was. So I don't want, and we talk about it a lot, you can't always get an accurate portrayal of what you're going to see in the regular season during the preseason,
Yeah.
so I want to break that down. But it didn't look great. So where are your thoughts at?
Well, and it didn't feel like, I'm never going to be somebody to call out a player's effort, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody has that. They should do that. But I will say is that I think there have been more intense practices at Bills camp than there were today. There was a play where a Bears running back tripped up in the backfield, and he was almost like, all right, the play's over, somebody's going to touch me. He got up, which should have been a 5-yard loss, and it ended up being a 2-yard gain because nobody really went after him. That was the moment where I went, are we done with the preseason? I'm all set.
We were talking in the press box of how it seemed like there was more fire and more energy in the return of the blue and red scrimmage here. But I think, so we did see Josh Allen. We did see the starting offense. We did see the starting defense for 1 series. We saw Allen out there for 2 series. Went 2 for 3, 22 passing yards, had 7 rushing yards on the day. Had a nice connection with Khalil Shakir.
Yep.
Had another nice screen pass, that one going to Curtis Samuel, who had a nice, I think it was ended up being a 15 yards. Run after the catch involved in that as well. So there was that.
Yeah. How was the rest of the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
I mean, it's hard because I think you wanted to see more, but also it's important to remember that this is not, and Josh Allen said this after the game, we did not game plan for this. This is not something that you don't want to show your hand in the preseason. So I think that is something to note, but it's also very frustrating when you see how out of sync things felt for this team, especially offensively.
I thought you asked Josh Allen the best question of his press conference.
Thank you.
And set up what you asked him because I thought his answer was very telling.
Yeah, it looks really dark. Is that okay?
Yeah, the sun's going to come in and out, everybody.
Okay.
Bear with us here.
All right, so bear down. So I just asked Josh, really honestly, I was curious, like overall, not what the team wanted, but what can this group take away from Saturday?
Again, I think Coach McDermott preached it in the room right now is we hold ourselves to a very high standard. And, whether that was met today, I guess we'll find out on film. It doesn't really feel like it was stepping out of that locker room. But again, I think guys were flying around, and it's hard to play games where you don't really game plan for teams. You're not really sure what they're doing. You don't have your best plays in. There's a balance between running what we've been practicing but not showing a whole lot to the world too. It is preseason at the end of the day, so just wanting to see the guys' effort and how they go attack a game day. And this is the first stepping stone or milestone for a lot of these guys that have never played an NFL game. So get to see that and see how they respond to it. And again, we'll turn on the film, we'll watch it, and we'll get rid of it and move on.
I thought he said it best. He's not going to overreact, and he also said it too. It's the preseason. It's the preseason.
I know, I hear that, and I do think some fans get frustrated though, but I do think it is important to remember that there is so much game planning and preparation that does go into regular season games that I get why it needs to be vanilla in this phase. But it also looked pretty gross, so
Yeah.
I understand why there is concern.
My one takeaway, heading into this game, I wanted to see players flash. I wanted to
Yes.
see plays being made.
Yeah.
I wanted the NFL social media account to say, Josh Allen hit so-and-so, or so-and-so with a tackle for a loss, something like that. That's my only thing that I'm slightly concerned about. The fact of impact plays that I thought were made. The whole game felt ho-hum. It felt like the last practice at Fisher. It just didn't have a ton of juice. Again, I'm not going to sit there and break down what I thought of this player's route because it is the preseason.
Yes.
And it is vanilla as you can be offensively. But the disappointing thing was there wasn't a run where I went, ooh, Cook got loose there. Or, ooh, Ray Davis had a nice burst. The whole game felt like you were waiting for somebody to make a play, and nobody did.
It's funny, for the newscast, I had a video in that I was going to write for, standout player of the game, and I was like, well, that was Caleb Williams. That was the Bears rookie quarterback, the first overall pick.
The other thing was I loved Josh's bite because I think it's exactly what you need.
Soundbite. Yeah.
Soundbite. Whereas he kind of even went up to the podium like, what's up? Like, yeah, like,
Hey, guys.
like, hey, like, yeah, it was fun to play and, get the juice and all those things. And then we asked Sean McDermott how not to overreact about a game like this. Preseason, good or bad? And his answer, a little more fiery.
I do a lot of self-talk. If you had a blood pressure cuff on me during that game, it would probably have exploded. So I just think that when you've been around as long as I have, to try and keep perspective, and that's why they call us coaches also, to take a team where it may be and make it better. And that's what we've done here, and that's what we're planning to continue to do in terms of taking this team and what we did today, and then get them better and better throughout the course of the season. I firmly believe that that's what a coach's job is to do. So, that's what we'll do, and we'll look at this film, like I said, and we've got good guys in this locker room, and it means something to them. And I think some of the younger guys who haven't been in our locker room, and some new guys who haven't been in our locker room, but are veterans, that they start to understand that the standard is the standard. It's the standard even in a preseason game, preseason week 1, and that's probably one of the more irritating things of this is I don't care who it is, where we're playing, what time of day we play, or in this case, preseason game number 1, there is a standard and an expectation when you put the colors on the Buffalo Bills to come out and play a lot better than we did and coach a lot better than we did. And so that's important to me.
Yeah, it was a long answer, but I think that's exactly the kind of message that Sean wants. The standard is the standard. The players can, especially Josh, he doesn't care what his stats are coming out of a preseason game. Everybody's healthy. We haven't addressed that. For the most part, everybody's healthy.
True. That's the biggest win.
But I agree that Sean McDermott, in that when you set a standard, it doesn't matter if it's a preseason game on Saturday or a Monday night football game. That wasn't Bills football.
Yeah.
So while I understand Sean and I actually appreciate his fire and tenacity of like, when you put on those colors, like it's got to be better.
Yeah.
I understand Josh saying is a preseason.
I think it can be both, which I think sometimes, especially in our industry, it seems like it can
Okay.
only be all or nothing. I think it can be both upsetting in how the team performed today and also very early on in the summer where there is a lot of room. I will say, though, the run game to me, I was like, wow.
Not great.
It was not good.
The lack of push, the drive, the Bears were the more physical team.
Yeah.
Again, the Bears had also already played a preseason game.
Yeah, that
So,
was
like,
their second preseason game.
So I wonder how much that factored into it. But again, it just looked like the Bills just couldn't really, they weren't, it's so stupid to say. Like they weren't ready. Like, oh boy, like the Bears had more juice. They cared more about this game, whatever.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen some like sizzle reel type of stuff.
I would love to see a Shaver's catch over the middle where I could go, oh, that was nice. Like the Bears had all the highlight plays. The near catch by Carlson on the sidelines, like athletic plays, they were flying around. They had 5-6 sacks. Like, again, I'm not going to sit here and break down what Shane Buechele's, how he was antsy in the pocket. I don't care. What I cared about was the fact of the lack of big plays that I was hoping for.
There are so many moments where I'm like, I can't even imagine being athletic enough to do what football players do. And then there was some Shane Buechele stuff where I was like, that would kind of look like me.
Put me in coach.
Yeah, that would kind of look like me. Keon Coleman did get involved. He had his first pass of his NFL career.
Yep.
That one coming from Mitchell Trubisky. They tried a couple plays later in the red zone. 2 times they tried to target him.
That felt like I'm gonna force the ball to Keon a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't like, dang, Keon's got to come away with it. I was like, yeah, like it gets tighter. Yeah,
Give your guy a shot.
yeah. That's how I felt about it. But nice to see him at least, get his first
Yeah, and he
pass
had the
of
Bears'
way.
top corner on him. Like, that was a good competition.
Yeah.
I thought, again, that's going to be the physical man-to-man coverage that Keon is going to have to get to. We talked to Keon after the game. He said the speed didn't surprise him. He said it was a lot of similar to how fast the Bills practice. So that's a testament to that. He didn't sit there and say, like, oh, it's nothing. He said it's preseason, then it's going to be regular season, then it's going to be postseason. He goes, there are ramping up periods. But he was calm, cool, and collected. Like, it wasn't anything outstanding for Keon. It was just the fact of business-like for him.
Yeah, in terms of other pass catchers, Ray Davis, I know obviously a running back, but
Yep.
he had some nice catches. You saw that the yards after the catch, he had that kind of wiggle, which I really liked.
Yep.
But the run game, in terms of that component, not so much. But Ray Davis, I've been pleasantly surprised by what he's been able to bring.
Yeah. Ed Oliver injured on the first play. Didn't look great initially, was I'm on the sidelines because it almost looked non-contact. Went into the medical tent, came out shortly after, cleared for his knee, but obviously no reason to put him back in.
Yeah.
Matt Milano went through warm-ups along with Von Miller, and then they just kind of sat him out. Sean talked afterwards that Von really doesn't play in the preseason. They're trying to manage his reps. And Milano, it was a scheduled, have him go through the warm-ups and then not play. So no setback for Milano as they continue to kind of ramp him up. I think, Jenna, I know we're kind of skipping ahead. I think we're going to see the starters play more in Pittsburgh. I think Mike's wrong. I think that they are going to play a decent amount in Pittsburgh as ramped up. Josh said, I'm probably going to play. And then he quickly walked it back like a kid that said, you can sleep over. Absolutely. But he's like, but I got to ask my mom first. It was like, hang on. I think I'm going to play, but whatever, I'm assuming, whatever coach tells me to do.
Your analogies do crack me up. We talked going into this game about you have to set a plan and you have to set a plan and you have to stick to that plan.
Do not be reactionary in the preseason.
I didn't know if McDermott would be reactionary because the Bills on that second drive, it was the end of the quarter, the drive continuing on, if he would keep Allen in the game, quarter end, he pulled Allen.
Done.
This situation, I don't know if going into this week I would have had or expected Josh to play in the preseason game number 2, only because you would have that scrimmage with the Steelers earlier on in the week. But I kind of feel like now I would want to see him in that. So it depends on what McDermott's plan is. I could see it going either way. Look, you want him to be healthy, but there's also work to be done.
If he doesn't play, though, in Pittsburgh, it's going to be weeks before week 1. So that may also be another time of let's get a few more reps before we can put you on ice and bubble wrap you for the season.
Yeah, I hear that. I did say, though, I didn't want him playing, so now I feel like I need to stick to my plan. Yeah, the sun's behind the stands now. It is so windy. It's windier than expected.
So plus side here, Tyler Bass. Tyler Bass. 2 field goals.
Yes.
Well done, Tyler.
48-yarder.
Yep.
Yeah. Or 49-yarder. We were talking in the press box. I was like, does he make it or miss it? I thought he would miss it. He made it.
Yep.
And it was windy.
And Sean was very quick in his press conference to point that out. There weren't a whole lot of positives. He was very quick to point that one out.
Lack of injuries, Bass.
Yes.
We might have to call him Tyler Bask.
Basking in the wind.
Yes. You've had a long stretch.
Yeah, the move really killed me.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? That's okay.
MVS with a
Oh.
a
I was
drop.
going to text you, and I felt like that was insult to injury, so I didn't.
Hamler a drop too. The new kickoff rule they're trying to figure out. Again, windy day. I tweeted out before, not breaking news that it's windy in Orchard Park by any means. But the fact is that it was going to make it difficult for returners. Bass kicked 2 into the end zone. And I do believe there will be times when the analytics people take over and make this call that you're trying to land it in that drop zone. But there will be times, how this teams are going to keep things very close to the vest. If you think the offense is going to be vanilla and you're not game planning, special teams isn't going to be doing that either, giving out what they're going to do. But I think there are going to be times when you just say, we'll give you the ball at the 30 because of the new kickoffs and things like that. But
it makes sense to me. If it's as explosive as they think it could be, it's like, just take it at the 30 and don't risk it.
But I thought it was a knock by Hamler with the fumble, the bobble on the kickoff. He also had a pass go through his hands.
Yeah.
That ball was thrown right at me. It was knuckling, like in the wind, so not a huge loss. He did have a nice punt return, but Andy Isabella, I feel like it's Isabella and Hamler kind of fighting for a roster spot because they really do play a lot of the same
similar,
roles.
Yeah, which obviously Isabella has the familiarity. He was on the Bills practice squad a year ago, so maybe that gives him the edge. We'll have to wait and see as we get further on into the summer. But that was interesting to see here what the new kickoff did look like.
Yeah, it looks weird.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's new.
It's new, which most people don't like new.
No. Don't
Classic.
like change.
Yeah, classic.
Anything other, your notes? That game was
it just felt
2.5 hours too long.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, I'm like, I think you tweeted out like running clock, who's in. I was like,
I'm all done with the preseason.
Yes. I it's been 1 week.
I'm all done.
I think for fans, I saw a lot of fans leave after the start of the fourth quarter, and I was like, that feels right.
That feels right.
That feels right. Like
there was a good crowd at the start.
There was a really good crowd. I was genuinely, you know what? It's gonna sound really naive, because it's not that I doubt BillsMafia, but I'm like, it's a preseason, it's a Saturday, it's August, it's nice weather, and then everyone shows up, and I'm just like blown away, because it always impresses me how many people turn out, but today was no exception.
Relax. Here's
spell it. You know how to
something.
spell it?
Yes. Here's something that's rare. Let me be the voice of reason.
This is
relax.
The open.
Relax. It's okay. It's the preseason. Don't panic.
All right. Have to do some yoga breathing. All right. For Dan, I'm Jenna. Mike again on vacation. Please be sure to
vacation for Mike. So it's just the two of us this week.
Yeah, we're just grinding out here.
That's it. No vacation.
If you see Mike, let him know.
Yeah. Don't tweet at Mike. That'd be bad.
What a shame.
Yeah.
It'd be a real shame if you tweeted at Mike.
No,
telling
actually,
him.
he's with family, so
yeah.
let him enjoy. Now, if you left right there, we
feel
finished.
bad.
He's spending time with his family, well deserved.
Yeah, of course. We love that for him. It would be a real shame if you tweeted him. It'd be a real shame if you tweeted and bothered him. All right, for Mike, who's not here, Dan, I'm Jenna. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Dan will be going down to Pittsburgh, so we'll have plenty more coverage down there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus.